Okay, get how to stream. I know how to stream. Done it before. Okay. Yes, I know. Alright, we got someone in here. Hell yeah. Let's get this show on the road hopefully really soon. We're waiting on Rob from Arachnid Cabinets, who did Gary's new cabinets. He said he may be a few minutes late. Traffic's a bitch. So we'll wait on him, then I'll do the intro for this shit. Let me know if the audio shit as well on my end. I hope it's not. Metal Mosher. What? I can't pronounce that. My bad, dude. We're waiting on Rob from Arachnid Cabinets. See, it's 9. I'll give him a few minutes and send him a invite. Keep my laptop on my way. I can see what time it is. I do have a couple questions written down for him, but mainly gonna be off the cuff here with these. I'm excited. If you couldn't tell. Alright. Oh boy, I do not remember how to do this. Ah, shit, there. Get to it whenever he is available. Alright. So we're just going to wait on Rob. I'll explain what this is in a second. I've been looking forward to this all week. I'm fucking hyped right now. So this is a new live stream thing that I'm doing. It's like a series, if you will. Sorry if I'm a dumbass and can't speak. A little nervous with this, but I plan on getting other guests. I have a few in mind. Some may seem a little odd, but they're kind of friends of mine. So, but one in particular I do want to get. I'm not going to spill the beans on that just yet, because that's a big one. That would intertwine both pages pretty well, and it'd be like the perfect guest for both these pages. So you might have an idea of who it is. Yeah, I'm going to be sneaky about it because I'm an asshole. No, it's not Rob Dukes. I'd shit myself. That would be fucking cool to get him on here. And if I do take a shit ton of drinks, it's because allergies are a pain in the ass. But I'm pretty excited for this. I've been looking forward to this all week. Yeah, somebody figured it out. Fuck. Yeah, I want to get Warren Lee on here one day. I know him a good bit. That wouldn't be the next one. Next one, I'm talking to somebody already. I don't know. They really can't. They can't really like plan it out. Like week's weird or something like that. But some of you may know. You know, there's memes. He knows how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb. Some of you may know. No, that's all good. Figure it out, you figure it out. There's nothing I can do. But, Alexi, I always fuck up the last name, I think. Laheo or something like that. The guitarist of Children of Bodom that died. Drift. I didn't really listen to the band, but he was good. Alright, we're just waiting on Rob. Then, there are a few people in here. I will say there are big things in the works besides the apprenticeship. I actually give you a little bit of a update on the Jeff page. It might take a little longer because I'm basically redoing the whole entire Taylor. I'm actually going to take it all apart, and I'm going to replace these with the stainless steel ones. I ordered them last night. I'm hyped about that shit. and I'm going to take it in I'm going to do some fret work on it because these frets are pretty low. All right, just got a message from Rob. He said he'll be on at 6:10, so I got to keep you guys stalled. So, yeah, I'm going to be working on this. It's just a little update for you guys on both pages. The Gary page is done. I will have a rig rundown eventually of the rig he's going to use starting tomorrow. And a big part of those is the cabinets. All right. Oh, the dad from the Lamb of God redneck video complained Mary had a little lamb. Yeah. Speaking of Lamb of God, those of you that didn't see, I had this listed on Reverb. I was going to sell it. I can't do it. I can't. Sounds too good. Sounds way too good. Sounds way too good. So, yeah, 6:10 word go with Rob, which is like in 5 minutes. Well, 6:10 his time, 9:10 my time. So, got 5 more minutes. Got time to kill. So, if you guys want to ask me a couple quick questions about this in particular, go ahead, or anything else in general. I really don't give a shit. It could be about what I had for breakfast this morning. Spoiler alert, it was nothing. Sleep, that's what it was. Yeah, so not much longer. So this will be this is the first one that's planned. This kind of spur of the moment thing, not gonna lie. You know, I'm wanting to start streaming again, and these ones will be saved to the page. I just can't watch them because I'll die of cringe from hearing myself. But we'll play it by ear and see who we get. I have a few people that I want to get. Throat gets dry, jeez. There is one person I definitely want to get, as I was saying. Not going to spoil who that is. It's not Warren Lee. I already figured that one out. But it will come. It'll come with time. There's a major announcement if everything goes as planned, which, crossing my fingers because I've been working for this for a long time. If it works, I swear to God. Favorite color is blue, and I don't own a single blue guitar. Ironic, huh? Favorite color scheme though is black and red, which I have a couple. I just sold one, but I had to. Yeah, I hate hearing my own voice back. I immediately feel myself slowly dying. But what can you do? Actually, I'm gonna go close that case. There. All right. Oh, Rob's here. Sweet. Let's get him in here. If I can figure out how to do this shit. There we go. Bad with technology. I'm young and bad with it.
Oh, let me, sorry, you're looking at the back end. All right.
There we go.
Up,
oh, we got Lenny in here. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. We double team this shit now.
Oh, fuck. That's sweet. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
A lot of people are joining now. That's good.
Fuck yeah.
So,
there we go. I got to sit back if I don't want to feel too short. Lenny's tall in real life, too, so this isn't just like chairs.
All right. We'll give it a couple minutes and let people get in here real quick.
Absolutely. I made a little pizza, sorry.
I just had pizza.
We have this place called Mountain Nights. It's pretty good. My wife just spent $52 for this pizza. I was like, wait, you're telling me when they told you it was going to cost $52, you didn't think to question the cost or how big it was going to be? Because it's massive. I was like, for $52, it better be.
Agree. Shit, that's a lot of money. All right, we got a good bunch of people in here.
They'll feed us for a couple of days, luckily.
Your camera quality is a little blurry, by the way.
Mine?
Yeah.
Could be the glare.
Could be the glare. Could be. Let me clean the screen off real quick. Or the camera. Better?
Yeah, it's a little better. All right. So I do have a few questions written down, just real basic shit. Everything else is off the cuff. Then at the end, we'll let people ask some questions. So first, I want to get off with how you guys started the company. It's real interesting, I think, to learn that.
I started it like 2012, and it's just been me for a really, really long time. I had a partner who kind of helped me in the beginning, and things didn't move quick enough. So he told me to get my shit from his shop, sadly, and bounce. And I've just been doing it solo for like the last 10 years, except for the past 3-ish months with Lenny. We were bandmates, and you reached out to me like one time? How long ago was that you reached out? Like, have you ever need help?
I think it was probably like a couple of years ago. It was literally a couple of years ago, and it was kind of one of those like, hey man, if you need some help, let me know.
Yeah.
And it kind of we never really, I don't know, we really never connected.
Yeah.
Like it just must have not been the right timing or something. And
yeah.
And then there's been times when I've had things going on and I needed some help, and Rob actually reached out to me. What do you need help with? And then kind of flip back around again where he needed help again, and I'm like, why don't we just team up, man? Why don't we just like work together on some of this stuff? And getting busy, especially with Gary's stuff and everything else. And it was it's gonna have to be a big time deadline, and it just kind of turns into it's gonna have to be a team effort.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's gonna slow down. It's like right now, I mean, dude, I have. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have to talk.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I mean, it's right now. It's like I got 8 cabs out, and I still have another 5 that have to go out, and then I know once Gary hits the road and Sammy hits the road. This is probably my daughters. Once they hit the road, I feel like it's just gonna sail. I saw Gary's cab play and they're either gonna get a signature or they're gonna buy something base model and custom to themselves. So I don't foresee it slowing down now.
Well, that's good. You're gonna get some good influx there with the business, and especially with Gary on the page, because I think him being in Slayer for almost 10 years definitely helped Exodus out. That's for sure.
You know what? I think it did. You know what it did? I think Gary being in Slayer finally opened people's eyes to how fucking rad Exodus really was. And I don't think Exodus got the fair shake of the deal in that big, if you want to look at the bubble, that's the big 4.
I always said Exodus should be in there.
Yeah, I don't think they got a fair shake. I mean, the big 4 really should have been like a big 5 or 6-ish.
At least six. There's a couple of bands missing out of there for sure.
Yeah. So I just think Gary being in Slayer just opened people's eyes like, holy shit, fucking Gary's dope. And we slept on Exodus, sadly, because we were so focused on Megadeth and Metallica and Slayer, which I love Slayer. So, don't get me wrong. I fucking love Slayer, but Exodus, you look what they're putting out versus all their peers these days.
They're
crushing. I always thought Exodus had a better guitar tone than Slayer anyway.
I have to agree. I have to agree in certain standpoints for sure, like the new album is crushing.
Yeah.
You know they did.
I did. Yeah, they had a better tone.
Definitely.
But you can't deny that.
A lot more gain to it. Yeah, like good example of that. Like if you take what would be like? Man, I can't even think of an Exodus album with a weak tone. Let's just say
there isn't.
There isn't. I can't think of one. Let's just say like the word like it's not the worst Slayer tone. It's not there either. It's the World Painted Blood tone. It sounds very weak on the album. Man, that's something I love the album. Don't get me wrong, but you put that up against Gary's tone, you're not winning. That's the thing. Gary's tone's absolutely crushing.
And I
think I'd argue that all day long for sure. And I totally agree.
And that's kind of that's what's nerve-wracking about building for guys of Gary's caliber. It's not so much that the product doesn't stand on its own from the construction and the materials, and it's not that the cab sounds bad, but everyone's ears are really different, dude. I mean, tons of people don't like the way the Mesa Boogie sound. Tons of people don't like the way Marshall sound. Tons of people don't like the way, Cab AB or C Company sounds. So it's kind of like you could build someone the best product all day, but if their ears don't like it, their ears don't like it. So I was very I wrote him too. I was like, hey, have you played it yet? And he said, no, not yet. That's the cable for charging because my phone's about to fucking die. Yeah. But I told Gary, I was like, he's like, no, not yet. I was like, okay. I said, because I'm over here pep talking myself that he's gonna love the way they sound. He's gonna love the way they sound. But I think him being already sold with the construction, the LED halos, there wasn't much talking himself up that, I hope I like these. He was very much in love with the product from the beginning, and that typically makes better customers, and that makes better lifelong customers, is people who just, they see it and they're already in love. Like, that's, I have to have it type thing. So those people are generally always going to be happy.
Yeah, he was super stoked. I mean, I think the first time he saw the lights and he saw the whole, just the cabs themselves, it was kind of like kid in a candy store. It was really cool to watch somebody like Gary Holt's eyes light up when going, oh my God, these things are so awesome.
Yeah. He has not been a rock star about anything. No. Gary's more like, it's so funny, like,
down to earth guy.
Gary's mentality is more like the local OG who witnessed everything start from the beginning versus like the OG who started everything. He's got easy to talk to. I mean, yeah, we were joking, like we started talking about our insurances for a minute. It was like he's just easy to have a real conversation with. Like, you don't feel intimidated. He didn't look down on me. I mean, I don't know if anybody can tell, but this is my garage. It's a professional converted wood shop, but it is my garage. And Gary didn't come here like, I kind of expected more from your operation type deal. Like, he understood. He's like, small guys and, but building big products.
Now, Gary, he even said himself, he's very empathetic towards people. And I think he generally kind of wants to see people succeed, especially doing things like this. He's got friends that started out working 9-to-5 jobs and are now building guitars because it was kind of a hobby and a passion, and they made it work, and they're doing it for a living now.
Yeah.
So I think he generally wants to help out the community and the smaller guys that are because he's been there, starting out as a musician, which I have a lot of respect for that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
and we're both extreme metal musicians. Lenny was Lenny in his heyday was there when thrash metal became death metal, and I'm a death metal musician, and I think Gary can also just tell his own. Like, he can tell we're like, we're cut from the same cloth, a decade apart from you and a handful of decades apart from me. So we're not just like guys who know nothing about the genre and we're just building stuff because we're good at building. Like, our hearts and souls are in extreme metal. So like I said, a lot of people recognize their own, and I think that kind of goes a long way with guys like Gary.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I noticed that one. I met him twice, like on the Headbangers Con, and he's just down to earth, nice dude, and me and him have talked a good bit over like the past 2 years I've been doing this page. And he's a really cool dude. I even let him in on what I've been up to as of recent. I've been trying to become a guitar tech for about 2 years. And
It's a marathon, dude. Keep doing it. Keep getting it, man.
I have a certain phrase. It's not so friendly for it, but as I put it right now, it's within pissing distance. So
Yeah, no.
I'm in talks with the band, and I can't wait to like put that out there. But I've been like stupid, like really secretive about it. And yeah, you know, and him and Craig and especially have shown their support for that, and that's a huge honor. And I noticed that like those two, you know, they play in like two of the best goddamn bands in the world, and these two, they're just so down to earth. It's like mind blowing to me. It really is.
Yeah, it's nice that they're still in touch with reality.
Yeah, they're not up there, and they're not assholes about where they're at or what bands they play in and all that. And I've noticed that there's like a lot of people out there that have an ego problem, and that's just something I don't like. That bothers the shit out of me. But when you like, from like the moment I saw Gary, I'm like, man, this dude seems like really down to earth. That's like kind of shocking.
We have an affectionate name we call Gary, and we call him Big Gare in the shop, and it spawns from a guy locally that we both know that, hey, big guy. It's so it's just like we just like, hey, Big Gare, and like now we just lovingly refer to Gary as Big Gare in the shop.
I haven't figured out if he likes that or not, but you know, he's.
Did we say it once in front of him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was kind of looking at us like, what did you call me?
It's like, I don't want
Deals off.
Deals off, yeah. No calls me Big Gare.
If you ever call me that again.
Oh, that's funny. So next question is, how did this all come about with Gary? It honestly kind of seemed like out of the blue.
So there's a saying that it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. This did not happen overnight. By no means, this is not anything to Gary's character, but I know he's so busy, he probably looked over. But I wrote him a handful of years ago, maybe like 2-ish years ago, like, hey, I weirdly found out he was local somehow, like he lived like in Antelope area of Sacramento, and I was like, hey, I'm a local cabinet builder. Do you want to try one of these things out? And then he never saw the message, and I can't blame him, like who wants to answer random messages, or just, you know, he probably gets flooded constantly, so I just wound up at the bottom of his message list. And then I wrote him again and just saying, hey, I don't want to be the dude keep bothering you because I'm pretty sure you're busy, but if I don't hear anything from you, I'll kind of, you know, I won't bother you. But would you like to try a stack? I have a studio here. You can test them out. And he saw that message. He was like, when did you write me? And I was like, 8 months ago, and we talked a little bit, nothing came to fruition, and then him and Sammy Dewey are really good friends. And I think when he saw that Sammy Dewey got a cab, Sammy from Goatmore, whoever doesn't know who Sammy is.
Yeah, who doesn't know Sammy? He's cool.
Yeah.
Down there too.
When he saw that Sammy got a cab, he kind of hit me up with the, do you build rack cases? Like, kind of dipping his toes in the water. I was like, yeah, of course. And we talked about that for a little bit, and then the next question was, why Eminence? Because I'm an authorized Eminence dealer. Now we're authorized Celestian dealers. And he just mentioned how he's a vintage 30 endorser, and I was like, I could put vintage 30s in these things, not an issue whatsoever. And then Gary came over, looked at a stack, and was sold. And then enter Lenny, like immediately after. Like Gary was here in about January, looking at a stack, and then from there he sent me a deposit. And I called Lenny. He's like, bro, I need help. Gary's got a tour coming up, and he loves these cabs, and we got to build these things really kick ass. You're one of the few people I think I could trust to come here and like do some work with me. So, and that's kind of where it started with Gary, and now he's heading up to San Luis Obispo tonight for the first leg of the first show tomorrow.
Bay Area Strikes Back tour.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna try to make it to one of the shows near me. I don't know, schedule's all out of whack. But
yeah.
Yeah. So second question I have written down. I know Gary is very picky about his speakers, and that's a lot of guitar players are pretty picky about their speakers. But was he like picky about anything else?
No, not really. The only thing he was kind of picky about, and this is only because art is really subjective. He got a sigil for his cabs, that GH that you see, those badges, and he approved the artwork and sent it my way. And he's like, "Oh, you're gonna digitize it and clean up, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll." To me, that means just make sure it's black and white and it's clean. It's digital looking. Well, sadly, the artist, it was an artistic style to not make anything really perfect. Like there was no really straight line. There was kind of a oval in the center. It looked like something you'd find in a religious textbook from the 1500s.
He was concerned with really clean lines, perfect circles, these kind of things. He didn't want somebody, on tour walking up to the cab and looking at a sigil up close and going, "Oh, look, that's not perfect." Which, you know what? I totally get that. At first it seems kind of like, "Oh man, this stuff's kind of done," but then I'm kind of like, dude, it's Gary Holt. It kind of does need to be perfect, and I get it. He's going to be playing in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really pickiness. I mean, to me, it was just sort of, this is how it has to be, kind of a thing.
He wanted what he wanted, and he was, believe it or not, he was actually super understanding about if he had to survive tour with that, because his sigils took a little bit of time to cut out. They're all done on the CNC behind us, and I'm at a spot where I usually only buy as much material as I need for a job, and my wife was like, overnight the material, whatever Gary needs. So my wife was in here on that, and we're like, oh crap, I don't have enough material. We're tripping out a little bit, and my wife's like, just overnight that shit. And Gary was even like, if you need me to reimburse you for the extra material costs, let me know. And we were just like, dude, just have your artist clean this thing up ASAP, please, and get it to us. And he was very cool. His artist had time, like 30 minutes.
I don't even think it was that. I think it was quicker than that.
Yeah.
It was really fast.
And so I busted out his sigils. And beyond that, Gary did not nitpick dimensions.
No.
He didn't nitpick the Duratex. He didn't nitpick the mesh. There was
No, he was stoked. He was super stoked. I mean, everything. He, like I said before, he was kind of a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah.
When it came to it, he's looking at it, and he's like, "Oh my god, these things are fucking amazing!" He's doing that kind of thing. So
he very much let Arachnid do what Arachnid does. He wasn't like, well, can you mimic these after this cap that I trust and love? He was like, he let Arachnid do what Arachnid does. He was like, okay, I'm coming to you. There's a certain way we design our boxes in terms of dimensions. He just trusted all that, which was very, very good. Even Sammy was very much like that. He initially Sammy was like, I just want 30 wide and all that. So the two guys I have right now, Sammy and Gary, both easy to work with. And Gary was really not picky about much.
Nope.
No,
easy guy to work
good.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people they'll be like really anal about certain things, and that can really put the pressure on someone, especially like a small company like you guys. It's like with his signature model, it's pretty much just an Eclipse with a different paint job and a Floyd slapped on it,
Yeah.
So anybody could get it, and it could be anybody's like signature, and that's something I can also respect as well. He kind of let DSP do their thing. He didn't go crazy and say, "Oh, you have to do this and that." Yeah, that's definitely good to have, especially when you're just like getting your foot in the water.
Yeah,
and that's like when I met him the last time. When he says that he appreciates what you do, that's like your jaw kind of hits the floor. So that's
he means that too.
Yeah, that's like I was in disbelief, still am, but that was really cool. But you guys make some sick ass cabinets. I was looking at your website, like, oh boy.
Thanks, man. So just like ESP, as you mentioned, if you want Gary's ESP, that's about a $6,000 guitar.
Yeah,
if you want his LTD, if you want the LTD, you're gonna pay about $1,500 to $1,600. And yeah, Gary's cab from us is, I think it's for the LED Halo system, it's priced at like $17.99. If you do a delete, it's only like $16.49. But if you were to buy a cabinet from us that's not Gary's signature, you're gonna get Gary's quality. Like, there's not much fat you can trim on a cabinet when you, I mean, you can't dovetail shittier wood. I won't do any other joint than a dovetail joint, which means I will not use any other wood than a marine grade Baltic birch, either a 4 or 3B. And so, like I said, Gary, it's just you're getting what he wants. You're getting the same thing he's going to play in terms of aesthetics. But if you didn't order Gary's signature, we're not cutting corners anywhere.
And probably that's what you have to clarify with a lot of people. Well, you guys just built these special for Gary Holt, or you guys just built them special for Sammy. It's not true. It's every single cabinet, there's quality and care and precision that goes into everything, no matter who it is.
Yeah,
really.
Even the base model cabs have really dope options you won't find at the price. So like, let's take a 412. Our base model 412s start at $1075, and with that you get a Patriot and British series Eminence, like Texas Heat Man War. Now I'm going to offer vintage 30s and like GT 75s at the same price point with no extra cost, and you get a Duratex exterior. And sure, Duratex may not be 100% bulletproof, but it's way more easier to touch up and will, like, it's way better to work with than Tolex. You fuck Tolex up, you damage it, you rip it, there's no going back. Tolex is ruined. Duratex, spend $35 for a quart of it, and you get yourself a texture roller. Hell, hit us up like, hey, how do I do this? Your cab can look brand new in like a Saturday afternoon.
Things get tour worn.
Yeah,
and that's understandable. And so if you got to touch it up with stuff, it's
easy.
It's easy.
Yeah. I told Gary, guarantee, if he brought those 4 cabs back from his tour and they're just kind of beat up and they need some loving, I can have them out of my shop in a weekend, like just touching them up, like no problem, man. With Tolexing, you got to rip all the Tolex off. You have to sand down all the adhesive. You have to reapply new contact cement. You got to go buy $70 to $80 in Tolex, and you got to hope you're fucking good with a knife. Like, Tolex is... I could Tolex. I mean, all day I could Tolex, but it's not forgiving. So it's, you know, another thing I do on my cabs, I do these Neutrik combo jacks, which are both the speak-on and quarter-inch input. Those are not cheap input jacks. They're like $5 each. And, you know, that's another high-quality component on a cab. So we offer some pretty dope shit at a Mesa Boogie price point, and it's all hand-built and dovetailed. And I throw my shell and a Mesa Boogie shell to a 20-year-old veteran carpenter any day, and to have him say, like, yeah, that's a better shell, construction-wise. Definitely. Wait, let's see if you want. Sorry.
It's good that you guys put a lot of work into this and a lot of quality. Because like the most important thing in the world is like a first impression. Because I've been looking at your website, I'm like, man, I might have to pull the trigger one of these days, because I have a Marshall 2x12 got for like $3 something, and the speakers in it suck. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to get a better cabinet, I'm just going to get it from these guys. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, dude, and even they're hand built, dude. These hands touch them. There's probably even our blood on your shit at some point.
Damn, that's metal.
Our blood and sweat is on all these cabs, and even if Arachnid were to expand, it would still most likely only be an intimate 5-ish person operation. Like, this would not go, all right, let's find some factory in Indonesia to build this shit. We're just gonna find 3 more competent woodworkers, and I'm just gonna invest in more extra table saw, maybe another 4x8 CNC machine. dovetailing has to be done by hand. You can't have a CNC machine dovetail. It will do like box joints and shit, but the CNC machine, I mean, unless you buy $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 CNC machines, basic ones that cost about $7,000, $8,000, they don't dovetail. That has to be done by hand in a jig. So
that's the thing when you start like franchising things and you start going bigger, quality control just goes right down the toilet.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be able to keep an eye on operations at all kind of levels. That's why it's not going to go, well, why don't you go, when are they going to be available nationwide everywhere in all these stores and things like that?
Yep.
It's not going to happen.
The most will happen is, we have like a mom and pop store called Skips. There's only 2 of them. There's one here in the Arden area, and there's one in Elk Grove. Guys like places like Skips will get 1 or 2 in, and it's not feasible to ship thousands of these across the world. It's always going to most likely be like Kiesel, where it's direct to customer. Maybe you'll find one used in a shop somewhere for someone who doesn't know what they have, and you'll always talk to one of us. One way or another, you're going to talk to Lenny, me, the people who have a say in how this shit's ran and how it's built. And there's not much else you can do. And I've had a couple people like, oh, well, when are you going to build not economy. When you build a consumer-friendly version of Gary's cows. Well, the consumer-friendly versions are the ones that don't have Gary's name attached to it. You can get all those options, but if you want the Gary Holt signature cabinet, having his name affixed to it comes with a royalty. Not gonna lie, and like I said, there's not much places to cut fat on this shit. So I'm never going to cheap out on the materials to save a couple bucks.
Oh, yeah. Kind of stumped. But
no, sorry. That's probably a lot.
It's like the first interview thing I've ever done. I actually, I'll get to this. When you guys reached out to me, I thought it was a mistake at first because I've only ever worked with one other company for promotion and stuff, and that was the pedal company he went to 2020 Proton Pedals. And,
yeah.
I did stuff with them, but when you guys reached out, I was like, oh shit, okay. I was pretty excited because these seemed really promising, and as soon as I saw I only need 1 kidney.
I don't know. You froze up for a quick second, brother.
Oh, yeah, when you guys reached out, I was like, man, these cabinets look sick. So,
yeah.
Shit.
Well, I saw you were promoting his gear, and, you never assume anything about anybody. I don't care, bro, I'm still small by certain standards. Actually, we're still small by a lot of standards. But we're creating a big product, and dude, you're rising tides raise all ships, dude. So don't be surprised who reaches out to you, man. I saw you were promoting Gary's gear. You followed me, and I was like, he might want to promote Gary's stuff. I don't assume anything, but I was like, you might want to. Yeah, I remember your response. I'm not Gary, dude. I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, because I got emails and shit. And I'm not Gary. I don't play nearly as good as him. That should be the first giveaway. But I'll go over his tones and stuff and try to recreate them. And the first time I met him, he told me I was in the ballpark. I was like, yeah, my ear isn't that bad after all. But I went through most of his Slayer stuff. Information on gear can be really scarce. So I did for the Exodus stuff. I did Tempo the Dam to the new album.
Yeah.
And for Slayer, I did I think 4 or 5 of his tones because I went from when he first joined till when they were done. Then I started a second page for Jeff because I like his tone. Yeah, that's me. I have 2. I have 2 pages.
I did see that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
All right.
Yeah, this one was pretty much done, and I was waiting for the new album to come out. And I was like, well, you know what? I got this JH600 here. Why the hell not? Let's do it. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I do everything myself, and like I can respect what you guys are doing because that's some cool shit.
Dude, it's been a grind. That's like you said. You're like, you know, this has been about a 10-year grind, man. And it may seem like I'm just like I popped up out of nowhere, but I've had good people support me. My wife, hell, all my artists, everybody from Grave Huffer, Richie, Mike, Gilgy, and Grave Huffer, um, Anthony, Sid, and stuff. Yeah, Steven from Human Extinction, Oscar, Garrett, Dan from Underdad Trauma. I mean, all these guys have really, they put their faith in me, and, you can't build if no one wants your shit. So having these guys be my core group of musicians who are helping us grow even further, they've helped just as much as Gary. Like I said, you can't grow if you don't build. And this stuff takes consistent practice. It takes a lot of work to be comfortable with machinery that'll rip your fucking fingers off.
Oh, yeah.
And we're musicians, so we want these digits and hands, and
Yeah.
we don't want to lose anything.
Yeah, and it's like I think it was you did a stream with Rigs of Death Metal, or it might have been the one you guys did. Maybe was it last week or the week before? And
a couple weeks ago, I did an early morning thing with Ryan from Rigs of Death Metal.
I magically was up for that. I wanted to see that. Then you guys had that one stream. It was one of those two where I said like, what was it? It was made for metalheads by metalheads. That's the best way to go. Like
absolutely. I mean, we don't discriminate against the rock guys either. I mean, like,
I love
bring
rock.
all the rock guys our way too. We're gonna be the company that, not gonna lie, we're coming for Mesa. We're coming for Marshall. We are coming as a company for those kings of rock and metal tones. Like, no, there's new guys in town, and you know what? We're hungry, and we want these pure connections with these artists. Like, these people aren't just notches in our belts. I mean, we live in modest homes in California. We have modest lives. Bro, I just want to go play death metal and not worry about asking if I can ask time off from my boss,
Yeah, that's like with what I've been doing. I have made no compromise whatsoever, and I refuse to every day. It's just I'm going to keep going. I'll do it until I drop dead. I don't care. It's just how I'm built. But I see that same ambition in you guys, and that's something you really need in this. And I learned that pretty quickly. And like some days it's a struggle, it's gonna be, but you just gotta keep pushing and pushing. And the way things are going, I see you guys like really growing, and that's good. That makes me happy because I can see the care and passion put into this. So that means a lot to a lot of people.
Guys have it takes years with anything to get good at things, to get recognized for things, and especially to get recognized by guys like Gary or Sammy or any big name musician. I mean, it's awesome, but it takes practice and it takes a lot of years. It really does. I mean, when you first start playing guitar or drums or whatever you're doing, you're not going to be any good at it. You get better as you go along. You learn from your mistakes, and that's just how it goes. It's great. It's a great learning experience all along the way. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can have fun doing it too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like I've had this goal for 2 years, and you guys got your goals, and that's awesome. You always have to have an end goal, and you want to have something past that end goal as well. So
yeah, hell, I wouldn't even call it an end goal. I would just call it. I mean, there's always kind of an idea of where you see it being, but like small goal, small achievable, realistic goals.
Yeah.
I remember. So a lot of people hate NAMM. They really do, and I don't blame some of the musicians in the market for hating NAMM. But NAMM has been that thing to where it, what do they call it, democratizes? Yeah, it democratizes your ability to be on the same field as other companies. Does that mean that your going to NAMM automatically makes your product the same as, you know, Gibson, Ibanez, Mesa, Marshall? No, but at least it allows people like, wow, you know, this is not a cheap thing to be here. They must really want it, and it's NAMM was always one of those goals. Like, if I can get to NAMM and I can make friends there and keep doing it and have a legitimate reason to go, I think I'm on the right track. And that was kind of when I first started. That was like a 5-year goal. I was like, within 5 years of building, I want to go to NAMM. And I think I met that goal in about 3 years. And then from there, it's like, well, what else can I do? I was like, well, I want good musicians to actually want the product. Like, I had some friends who were like kind of willing to use it and things like that. But then I was like, my goal was to not. You want the income initially because it helps growth, but then you're like, well, I need to really set standards for how I want representing the product. And that was another goal. I started setting some standards for who I was going to give artist endorsements to and the type of guys I want, and those goals all came true. I got the musicians of caliber under my belt, and from there it was, I don't know if it was ever a specific goal to have like Gary on board, but I was like, I knew I eventually wanted to get people Gary's caliber. But it's just, I was fucking Gary Holt, man. Exodus, Slayer, like, and then Sammy of Goatwhore, like, those dudes are fucking OGs, and they're known for being tone bloodhounds. So, yeah, Acid. So it's like, but it's a whirlwind that I didn't think that guys like that would be interested. Because I was also under the assumption guys like that are getting everything for free, and I can't really quite do free, so it's like, why would they come to a company where you can't do free, but you can do a really dope discount? And I was like, that's gonna brush them off. I was like, that's gonna scare them away. Gary's plays Marshalls. I bet Marshall sends him shit for free all the time. Come to find out, it's like, yeah, they'll get you stuff for free, but like overseas shipping, he was like, well, get them from you, it costs me just as much to ship things here. So he was like, why not go with a local company who he liked what he saw with options that he can't find anywhere else? You know, no one else is doing an LED halo system the way we're doing it.
That shit. As soon as I saw the first picture I saw, it was like lit up red. I was like, God damn it! I need one now.
Yeah, and that's ironically what brought Gary in too. I mean, he saw what I was doing, but like, just like a fly to a bug zapper. You know, he saw the lights and he was like, I gotta have that. And it got really hard. Like, I can't put those in your Marshalls. I can't put these in your Mesa Boogies. These are Arachnid exclusive things. Like, there's no incentive to come to us.
No, and we get, there's a lot of, well, what do they sound like? Well, they look great, but how do they sound? How does it sound? How does it sound? How does it sound? Hear a lot of that. See a lot of that.
Ryan's correct, by the way. Hearing is believing. It's true.
Very. And Gary just confirmed that the other day. He said the cabinets are absolutely crushing.
Yep. He said fat tone at low volume. He was like, these things are fat as fuck at low volume because they couldn't quite turn up loud. Yeah. And then I think from the videos that we saw Zetro post,
yes,
Gary's pretty fucking happy with the way they sound. Yeah.
And they sound amazing.
Yeah, I saw that video. Oh man, those things, even through like the phone, they sound great.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Like, man, that sounds killer just even through a phone.
Yeah, it really does. And phone audio fucks everything up.
It really does.
Yeah, like down the road, I'm probably gonna buy. I do want to try to get one of Gary's cabinets, but like space is an issue. If I can't get that, I'm definitely gonna order a 2x12. And I don't know what speakers yet, but like with my cabinet, I have to use the I have a Kemper, so I have to use like the cabinet simulator part of it, and I don't want to use that. I want to use like the actual cab itself. You know what I mean?
Yep. I don't use so I have a Helix. I don't use cab IRs with my shit at all. It's literally I'm like modeling a Rev. I'm modeling my chain is really simple actually. It's like a Rev. I have an overdrive. I have a gain pedal. I have an EQ in there, and I have like a reverb that I stop for solos, and I go straight to my through a Tuborg's Moss valve to my cabs. I do not emulate other cabs. Like first off, why? Like
Yeah,
they had.
Yeah, if you're doing that, the speakers that are in the cabinet are coloring that profile as well. Which I want that pure. I want that pure. I want that pure sound. So that's something I'm definitely gonna look into because my main amp right now is a Marshall JVM on the Kemper. It used to be the 900, but I'm probably gonna go back to the 900. I miss it too much. That's an underrated amp for sure. But that's like everybody's like tone perception is different. Like me and Gary, we like a lot of mids. I never liked scooped mids. I never really did. Just it sounded off-putting to me because there's like no substance to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you gotta have some sort of mid presence there. I think that's very important. And a lot of people like, oh well, James Hetfield scooped the shit out of his mids. Well, like, that's James Hetfield. You're not James Hetfield. No one is.
Yeah.
You gotta find your own path. That's like throughout tone matching Gary's stuff. I found out like his tone's a little bass heavy, and like me personally.
Yeah, I might disagree with you on that. So
really?
He wanted, So he asked for 16 ohm cabinets. So all of his cabs are 16 ohms. And when he asked for that, I was like, "Are you sure you want 16 ohms?" So the higher the impedance of a cabinet, the less bass response there is in a cabinet. The lower the impedance, as you go to 8 and 4 ohms, the more bass response you get, but you lose a little bit of tonal clarity in your highs. And when I was talking to Gary, I was all like, "Are you sure like 8 ohms is that sweet spot, dude?" He's like, "So yeah, I was like, I want to consider my tone bass heavy at all or dark."
Oh, that's interesting because I don't know.
I
mean, I'm ripping these from the album. You can hear Jack's bass on the album, so. But
but Gary's tone, he wouldn't consider it bass heavy. Well, but that's his perception, I guess, right?
Yeah, probably. My perception is very mid-heavy, of course. It's got to be
mid for sure. Yeah.
And there's like I always picked up some bass in there, and I usually got within the ballpark with it. And yeah, wow, that's interesting. Because like personally,
he just wouldn't personally consider his tone bass heavy.
Wow.
Even though it's chunky as fuck.
It is.
Yeah.
He even says he's kind of got like an old school sound, which he likes that. I'm old school. I like the old school tone.
Same. Yeah, it's like I back off my bass a good bit. I like it super clear and punchy. That's something that I always look for. That's like like the Angle Savage. I have a profile of it, and I got it close, but I could never exactly get that Exhibit B tone, and I think that's one of the best Exodus tones I've ever heard.
I love Exhibit B too, man. I really do.
I think that album right there is the reason why I think a lot of this started for me.
I like the ballad of Leonard and Charles a lot. It's so funny. Like, they had that shirt that was like 4 albums and no ballad, and it's just like 11 albums, 12 albums later, no ballad.
Is that it? It's backwards, but
yeah.
That's the one. Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
And I go more old school with Exodus. So you guys are talking, the newer albums are like, those are newer to me.
I like the old albums too. My favorite old album, it's between Pleasures and Impact. Bonded's number one, of course, but like besides that one.
Right. Yeah, totally. Fabulous Disaster is probably still my favorite Exodus album.
I like that album too. Yeah, but Impact.
That one and Pleasures in the Flesh. Yeah,
Pleasures is. I think Pleasures and Bonded are like the ones that really got me into the early Exodus stuff.
So when I first discovered Exodus, I'm probably older than, well, I'm older than Rob by several years. I'm probably older than you, but I was in junior high. And Pleasures of the Flesh, or was I in junior high? I think I was in junior high. And I bought Pleasures of the Flesh, and I loved it. I think I ruined that tape. I listened to it so much. Exodus was one of my favorite bands for a long time. You know, up until I discovered some other things in other bands, you know, and then I was like, I kind of thought they just disappeared, but apparently they were still going. And they're putting all these, like, Tempo of the Damned and Shovel-Headed Kill Machine, and I think that's the last time I saw them was on that tour.
I gotta say, props for using Now That They Come for the promotion. That's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I agree.
That song's crushing.
Yeah, it's, what is it, Raise? Raise, the first song.
Raise. First motherfucker like a rope.
Yeah, that was
shit to the ground.
So killer, man.
We won't worry about consequence if it's in and we'll bring it down.
Yeah, that album's really good.
Yeah. That's a good one, man.
Dude,
that's a great album. That's a great song.
So I discovered Exodus of Tempo of the Damned. So I was in high school, and it just happens like I discovered Tempo of the Damned, and then I discovered Shovelhead Kill Machine, and Exodus was one of those bands where I usually went backwards with the band's catalog, but I was also, oh man, this pizza's giving me hiccups now. I was in this transition where I don't want to say I was abandoning thrash metal as like my daily, but I was like, as I was getting better at guitar, like Dying Fetus and Nile and Origin were like blinders. I was like, I want to get better at playing death metal, so blinders on to that. And like, of course, I still knew Exodus put out Atrocity Exhibition. Then they put out Exhibit B, and I know they did Blood In, Blood Out, and of course, you know, I own Persona Non Grata. So I followed them, but I just, when it came to my personal, like what I was listening to daily, it just shifted all the brutal, extreme death metal. And what I liked about Exodus is they're still putting out. We talked about this earlier. There had to be a big six because they are quite possibly putting out the most. They are putting out the most brutal fucking albums amongst their thrash peers. I mean,
yeah, I mean Slayer's out, so they're. I mean, they were always on top of the hill, but it was them and Slayer for me that were always fighting for the top of the hill. And well, yeah. Slayer's gone now. Exodus rules all now,
yeah.
And there's no competition. No competition. Right. I don't care.
Yeah, there's two bands that should be in there. That should be, and then there's other ones that are kind of like, maybe they should be, but there's two that should, and Exodus is one of them. Testament's the other one.
Yeah,
both of those bands should be included within that big so-called four.
And they got Dave back, so shit.
Well, because even Testament, I mean, dude, that whole album they put out with like Brother of the Snake and all that shit. That's heavy. Chuck Billy actually has death metal guttural range, and
yeah,
I think he probably has some of the best range for thrash metal vocals out there. He can do the old school, and then he like, you know, he can do fucking almost death metal, borderline death metal guttural vocals, and their shit is still aggressive and it bites. So
it does, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the new album a lot. Titans of Creation, that was really good. And when Gene Hogan left, I'm like, shit, Dark Angel better come back. And they announced they have a show.
Dude,
I was cool.
Dark Angel was my jam back in the day, man. That was like, I remember sitting in high school with Dark Angel. Like me and a buddy of mine was nerd out on metal. And he's like, hey, man, have you ever heard Dark Angel? And I'm like, yeah, you know, and I think he had like the Leave Scars album. He's like, you got to hear this one, man. It's new. That was the heaviest stuff I'd ever heard in my life.
I love Dark Angel.
I do too, man. They're great.
I put in the comments, it's about fucking time. How about a tour now?
Right? Yeah, they were.
God,
they were so
I heard Darkness Descends, and that was the first Dark Angel song I heard. I was like, damn, this intro's on par with Hell Awaits for best metal intro of all time.
Yeah, man. Seriously. Yeah.
I definitely feel like Exodus and Testament they're definitely like wine, dude. They just got crushing and better with age, dude. They didn't wean or whatever. It's just like, cool, next album is darker and crushing, more crushing and heavier.
Well, I mean, they're doing what they want to do. You know, this is what they want to play. They don't necessarily want to be the sellout guys or whatever, you know, everybody says, you know, oh, they sold out. They did this, they did that. They did it for money or whatever. Yeah, probably. That's not what Exodus is doing. You know, they
there was.
I think they're doing just fine financially too.
They're fine.
Yeah, they are absolutely fine. I think Slayer did fine. Testament's doing fine.
Yeah, there was that one album where Exodus went with the rules of the record company, which was Force of Habit. Even though it's not their best album, it's still a decent album. And that's like with Slayer, with Diabolus and Music Hut. It's not my favorite, but you know what? After giving it like a couple re-listens, like it could have been handled differently. It could have been a better product, but the songs, like, they're still pretty good, like as an idea.
I think you gotta give all those thrash guys, like all the thrash fans, like you gotta give them a little bit of credit for dealing with where music was going in the mid-90s.
Yeah, grunge was on the rise.
Yeah, you gotta give them a little credit for putting out what they could have in the 90s when it was a genre. I mean, look how long it took bands like Suffocation and Death to really like be appreciated.
Right.
When Chuck died in 2000, not that people didn't love him, but
Yep.
yeah, I feel like it takes people some time to realize, oh, this flavor of the week kind of sucks, but you know what? These guys have always been here. These dudes have always been here, always been consistent. Not everyone can put out a perfect record, but still, it's like when that flavor of the month dies, like, oh, God, yeah, Slayer's still here. Oh, yeah, Exodus is still here. Creator is still here. Dying Fetus is still here. Nile's still here. That's just how it goes, man. That's why I think
generally people kind of get stoked every time. Like I have friends. I have a lot of friends that are into thrash, and it seems like every time Exodus puts a new album out, everybody's stoked. Like, oh my God, the new Exodus is dropping. So
I could not wait. As soon as actually when Beatings dropped the first single, I had it on repeat for 5 hours.
I love that song.
It's crushing. A buddy of mine sent me tabs for it. I must learn it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but and that's probably why I think that's why guys like Sammy and Gary are willing to come to Arachnid. First off, quality product, and like you said, you have a conversation with us. Our hearts are in this fucking genre, man. Our hearts are behind these artists. Like our souls are, embedded in this music. So it's like, yeah, do I want this to be my 9 to 5? Do I want to expand to a bigger shop? Do I want to have a 5-person crew and cabs is all I do? Goddamn right. That's what I want. And I'm going to get there by producing a fucking great product. We're going to get there by being great fucking people to our artists. And we think with material cost prices, we think Arachnids are fairly priced for the quality you get. And for those who are like, well, your prices are going to go down, the only way prices will go down is when we start getting bulk discounts on wood. I could buy 1,000 speakers for thousands of dollars less than if I only buy 4 or 6 at a time. That's the way costs will be, the savings will be passed on to customers. It'll never be because I fucking cheaped out and bought 5-ply birch from Home Depot or some bullshit like that, or I put a Chinese vintage 30 in these things, That's not where prices are going to decrease when the time comes for prices to be able to decrease. But there's always going to be, no matter you buy a base model, you buy Gary Holt's signature, there is absolutely a custom shop aspect to everybody's build. There's no getting around it. This shit is custom shop. Very much like a Kiesel, Kiesel or another direct-to-customer brand that you can't find in Guitar Center. We're not trying to be Gibson or Mesa. We're Arachnid, and you're gonna get fucking the same quality Gary gets, Sammy gets. Whether you're a little bedroom gigging musician and all you want is a really dope cab to brag to your friends, or you're a touring national, international act like Goat War and Exodus.
So when these cabinets are, I would say, pretty much complete, getting ready to get sent out or whatever, or picked up, they're really gone over with a fine-tooth comb. Like everything is just detailed out to be perfect for everybody. Like you'll catch things, you'll see things, and make sure everything's perfect. And that's just how it's going to be. It's always going to be that way.
Yep.
You know, you're not going to cut corners, you know, on that type of, on the builds in any way.
Plus, the Duratec's pretty unforgiving.
Right.
It'll show any little mistakes.
It definitely will.
So,
if it's not
perfect.
done correct.
Yeah. It'll show
Yeah,
gaps in woods.
Yeah, when I
It's
saw
too thin.
guys' websites, I looked at the prices like these are a little steep, but like hearing you guys say, like, you know, there's only two of you to be fair, and like even seeing your setup behind you guys, you know, like you could tell there's a lot of love and care put into these. And, you know, I would pay like $3,000 for a cabinet from you guys because you know what, I would know that I'm getting a quality product and no corners are cut, and that's something I respect a lot.
Yeah.
And we appreciate it. And, you know, I think it's one of those things to where, you know, I've learned that not a lot of musicians really understand what goes into a product, and they only know a couple keywords from the, like, they know ebony, they know mahogany, they know EMGs, they know Floyd Rose, they know Fishman, they know a vintage 30. They hear the word birch thrown around a lot, and sadly, Birch, Home Depot, you know, there's not a lot of people who disclose the grade of the birch they're giving you. And that's one of the things we're pretty transparent on. So that's why, yeah, the prices are kind of steep, but everything's hand-built. And like I said, our base models is still a custom hand-built from the ground up. We go get the plywood, we cut it down, we dovetail it, we route everything. It's still,
I mean, how many times have you gotten a product from a mass production type place, company, shop, whatever, and it's just kind of turned out to be kind of garbage? I have. I've personally experienced that many times, and I've been pissed off about it. Or there's been times when I've ordered stuff from very small companies, and I've personally been one-on-one with the guys, you know, or guy, making me or building me or whatever it was I was doing. I can give a couple examples, but I'm not going to even go into that right now. And I've gotten a great product, killer products. You know, I am just not for mass production. And I'm not saying that just because I'm biased or it's just, I just feel like your product is just not as good, man.
Yeah.
You know, the quality just goes out the door.
And another thing I've said, that the cabs are so underrated when it comes to like the part of your signal chain. Like, people all day, you can go to a similarly sized guitar builder, you know, in terms of, you know, 5,000-ish followers. The gear looks obviously fucking amazing, but their guitars will be $5-6 grand. And people are like, oh God, yeah, well, because it's got ebony, or it's got a Floyd Rose, or it's got those Fishmans. It's got a beautiful quilted maple top. Yeah, $6 grand, boom, no problem. That's not even, no one blinks twice at a mid-level guitar company charging $6 grand for a build. But, you know, we charge close to Mesa Boogie, and the only reason our cabs are even more expensive than Mesa Boogie is because we offer dope options you don't get most other places, and then people are like, oh, that's too pricey. I'm like, man, we're by far miles cheaper than if you were to get a guitar equivalent of what we were doing, you know? Everything built from the ground up by hand, minimal CNC interaction, you know? Dovetails are still done by hand. It has to be put together by hand, and you can't do that LED halo system on a machine. That's fucking time consuming. That's all hand.
Absolutely.
And it makes a mess with all the parts. Makes a huge fucking mess.
It really does.
And cleanup sucks for that guy. But still, like I said, Gary's cab is probably one of the most expensive examples, and that's only because his name is kind of attached to it.
Yeah.
Signature bar. Dude, the Jeff Loomis Signature Jackson costs like $6-7 grand, but you could build that through their custom shop for probably $2 without Jeff. You know, you're paying $4 grand for Jeff Loomis's name at the end of it. No disrespect to Jeff Loomis. If he sees this, I fucking love you, Jeff, but we all know that guitar only costs $6 grand because your name's on it. That can be built for $2 grand through Jackson's custom shop. So, and like I said, Gary's cab, you look at, if you were to price that out, like you were to go online, put your own custom sigil in there, do the expanded steel mesh, LED halos, yeah, you're actually not paying much more than base price. You'd be like, wow, that's actually
pretty stupid affordable for an option that I can't find anywhere else. You know?
Yeah, because I'm like, I think it was right after the Rigs of Death Metal stream. I went on your website. I was like, yeah, this is something I'm definitely going to pull the trigger on in the future. Because you know what? It's done. It's quality. They're not skimping on anything like major companies do. Because, like you said, when it gets mass produced, QC goes out the window. A really good example of that is like right now with is Jackson and BC Rich. They're be honest, their quality control's dog shit. I had a Mick Thompson soloist, just the white one, the Pro Series, and that thing, one, it sounded like shit, and it was buzzing in like the spots where it wasn't supposed to buzz. I ended up trading it for the black Gary Holt signature. Hold on a sec. Ended up trading it for this, and this was much better.
Nice. And like, dude, so, oh god, hell yeah! I just bought I have an LTD M1000 QM. It was a $1,500 guitar made in Indonesia. It plays better than the guitar I got from the custom shop in Germany, which, you know, I love the guy who runs that company, but like at the end of the day, like I can't believe this $1,400 LTD Indonesian import plays so fucking good. Neck through, Massacre Ebony. I had the Floyd Rose SE1000, and I put an OG in there for the Floyd Rose. Richard from Voodoo Custom Pickups is making me some custom high, like really fucking hot passives. I'm gonna rip the Fishmans out of it, and then boom, like, dude, I can't believe the quality that I got from LTD for a $1,400 guitar.
That seems to be like ESP is the only one that's mass produced, but they keep their quality. And no, I've looked into their custom shop too, and you have to go to like a guitar building school for like 2 years before you can work there. And that says a lot.
Same thing. Yep.
They're very particular, and you know what? That I used to be a Schecter guy. I actually have one of Gary's V's hanging right there.
Nice.
And then I got the Jeff Hanneman one. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
I have the number one right here. Well, Jeff Hanneman one's fighting for that spot. But, yeah, ESP's the fucking shit. I love them. I actually had one listed, and I took it down this far. I was like, I can't let go of this thing. It plays so well, sounds great. And it's like, I mean, Schecter's good and all, but, like, you know, there's some inconsistencies there sometimes that bugs the shit out of me. And, like, ESP, they're pretty consistent, which I like.
Yeah. And you know what's funny about it? The guys that are coming on as artists and the guys that I love too, outside of Gary and Sammy, are all, Sammy's an ESP LTD artist. Gary's an ESP LTD artist. I fucking love John Gallagher from Dying Fetus. He's an ESP LTD artist. I love Behemoth. Orion and Nurgle are LTD ESP guys. I mean, it's so fucking crazy that most of these dudes who I love musically that are guitar players, Lenny's a drummer, so you can't chime in, loser. But that are ESP LTD players, so.
Yeah.
Damn rhythm section, loser.
That's a broad moment.
It's funny. Me and Lenny, we go back several years. I met him when I joined Art of Chaos as a frontman, and Lenny was the drummer, and you know, that's where me and Lenny's friendship started. So we pretty good sense of humor. If you can be in a band together, you have to have similar joking personalities, or else it doesn't work. If you can't. You have to have a little bit of thick skin and know people are just joking.
I had to bring him on to try him out as a musician and see what he had.
Right? He's like, yeah, I kind of like, if your vocals were garbage back in the day, I would have never joined you helping you work in your shop.
No, I'd have probably been mad at you.
But, yeah, I got one more question for you guys. It's the last one I had written down. What artist would you literally kill to have on your artist roster?
Oh, kill. All right, me and Lenny are just about a decade apart, so we might have different people.
Yeah, let me think about
who would I kill?
That's really put me on the spot, man. Dang. I'm I'll think of something later, and I'll be like, oh!
Nurgle.
I mean, Gary Holt's pretty rad.
Gary Holt is pretty
Yeah,
rad.
Gary.
Rad.
I mean, Gary be a top tier for sure.
Yeah.
I figured that was a good question too, because I was thinking of questions like, ooh, damn, I might get him on this one.
So
like,
That's a great question. Man. I haven't even really thought about that a whole lot.
So I have a couple people, but within my top 5, and this is not like these top 5 could have definitely been anybody, but Nurgle from Behemoth would be a fucking dream come true. First off, the dude's a showman, fucking epic, powerful front man. The guy just knows how to dial in tone, and I feel like they'd figure out a way to have a really dope stage show involving these. So Nurgle would be really huge and high up on my list. And the fact they tour all over, so I guarantee these things would get seen worldwide. And that's another factor of mine that determines like who I would just kill. It's like, you know, I have some other guys who I just would fucking love, and they're not even guys who like tour hugely. They're just people, or you know, they tour, but like maybe not at the same level. But I have a handful of people like that. Right?
I'd like to see probably somebody like Phil Demmel from Violence jump aboard. I think that'd be super awesome.
Another
Oh,
OG.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of interested too. He wants to play Gary's.
Yeah.
He wants to play
He
Gary's.
showed a little interest. Maybe somebody kind of like Scott Ian from Anthrax. That might be reaching right now, but you know,
Scott Ian,
that would be pretty awesome.
join us.
Yes.
I can route pentagrams into your speaker baffles.
Yeah, I figured that was a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
To be honest,
geek out on that.
Bro, we could geek out all day. Like, man, we had this guy on.
Now I'm gonna be thinking about that the rest of the night.
Right.
Who else?
Metallica for sure.
Yeah, you want a James Hetfield on there? That would.
I would
Yeah, that'd be the one right there. That'd be really cool to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
I know some people have asked me questions. I just
Oh.
No one asked any questions in the booth or in the thing, did they?
Your audio quality dropped a lot.
Oh, sorry. Am I better?
No.
Hold on. Nope, not leave. Better?
No, it's still the same.
Is that better? The camera quality sucks.
No, the audio quality is really bad right now.
Give it a second.
All right.
Should I mute and then come back?
Yeah, try that or leave and come back. We could try that.
All right, you might have to.
Is that
Oh,
better?
there we go. We're good.
Boom.
we're good.
Yeah, I just muted my mic and came back.
All right, there we go. So we'll let some people ask some questions. Use the Q&A tab. That way we can see it. Comments, like when somebody comments, it goes by. Just use the Q&A tab, and we'll answer those. And for right now, I guess we'll just find shit to talk about.
Oh, man. Dude,
So,
Gary, let me... oh, go ahead. You go.
No, go ahead.
So Gary brought his lovingly referred to San Francisco ESP Eclipse to the photo shoot.
The gold one, yeah.
Yeah,
one.
Yeah, the one that Kerry King hates. Dude, he fucking, he brings it out of the case, and he just starts bullshitting with everybody, which is dope. Like, the dude's just like, yeah, let's, just talk. He just hands it to me. Just hands it to me with the strap. Like, hold on to this. Here you go, kid.
Yeah, hold on. I got a picture. Oh. Can you see that? There's a picture of me holding it.
I'd shit myself, literally.
That's me holding it in the studio.
Yeah, he was like,
sick.
here you go, hold it real quick. And I'm like, I'm just shredding some shit on it and, talking about how much I'm a nerd and how low it is.
I'm like, look at me, I'm holding Gary Holt's guitar.
Man, you guys are lucky. That's sick. Actually, a friend of mine,
man.
friend of mine, he's not
It's kind
much
of hard
of
not
a
to think of.
friend of mine. He's not much of a metalhead, but he did go to a Slayer show with me. And that was his first concert
That's
ever.
awesome.
It was my
Oh, boy.
second. And he said, "Dude, I just want to see the blood guitar." He's like, "Dude, you're literally just
Oh,
going." He's
the
like,
one.
"Hell yeah!"
You played, yeah, you used to play that one.
He's
Yeah.
like, "I don't blame you." And I'm like,
I don't
"Dude,
want all.
that guitar's sick." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't blame you for just wanting to see that shit. That thing's cool." Actually, there's a funny story with that guitar. So, before I decided on the path of a guitar tech, I was going to go work at some guitar company. I was like in between ESP and Schecter. Even if I had to move, so be it. But I did a presentation on guitar building because since I had a senior project, I had a whole section dedicated to Gary's blood guitar. I think the teachers thought I was crazy. Oh, that was funny. I saw the look on their
Those
face.
teachers don't know shit.
I was like, I did something right here.
Right. Yeah. It's surreal to like hold an instrument that this guy has sweated on, wrote who knows what riffs on, you know.
Yeah. It was crazy, man. It was just, he's like, yeah, here, go ahead, just start ripping on it. I'm all, what? Thanks, man. I'm holding your guitar.
And
Yeah.
it's hard not to want to fangirl around Gary, but obviously, you know, there's also a level that we have to. He obviously, you know, is coming to us for professional purposes, so it's like he obviously has. There's a level of respect he obviously has for us as people too. So it's like, I remember the first time I saw Gary Holt live ever was at Slaughter by the Water. That was in Alameda, like a handful of years ago.
Which is in the Bay Area.
Yeah, it's in the Bay. Yeah, for the jockey lesson, and I saw him in passing, and I think all I said, I didn't even stop to shake his hand. I wasn't trying to it's like, hey, Gary Holt, thank you for like your contributions in music. I love your playing, and I just walked on because I didn't want to be that guy like,
yeah,
hey,
that guy, can I have your autograph? He's like, oh, God.
Yeah,
another one of these guys.
Yeah. Even though I'm pretty sure he stopped signings, but yeah, I didn't want to be that guy.
No. Totally.
Yeah, that's like I had the Headbangers Con back in March. That was the second one I was on, and I didn't even have a question. I just wanted to chat, and it's like I kind of want a lot of people want pictures and shit, and like someone who's not like fond of cameras. Like if I ever met somebody, like if I like met Gary in person, I wouldn't ask for a picture. I'd be like, dude, let's just chat for a bit,
Yeah.
It's like.
I think we're done.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
We were nervous. I don't want to say nervous, but like we want to be those guys. But I think like our second meeting with Gary when he came to see the Cabs, not in the shit. They were Duritex, right?
No, they did. They were
speakers, right?
They just didn't have the speakers in them quite yet because he was delivering the Celestion speakers here, and it was sort of like, well, let's just grab a picture with him, just kind of like an artist thing next to his Cabs with us.
Yeah.
We were kind of just going, yay, doing that stuff, but it was sort of like, to him, it was kind of like, well, let's just do like a pro photo in the shop, kind of thing. But we were really stoked. It was pretty rad, though. And he was like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's super cool about it.
I even prefaced it like, hey, man, this might sound cheesy, but can we, can we do a little shot pose real quick, Arachnid team and Gary? And he was like, yeah, of course. And
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was saying, but I totally feel you about the whole like, you don't want to be that dude.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to be that asshole asking 50,000 questions. Like like the first time we were on there, I was nervous. I was nervous as shit the last time. The first time I was like literally shaking. I can't believe this is happening. And I asked him like one question, like what he used on Blood In, Blood Out, because I was working on that tone at the time, and I was completely stumped. So like, well, no better source than the man himself. And like, if I do have questions and I ask him, he'll answer me, which is really cool. But it's like the last time I was like, dude, just thank you, seriously. It's like
that's so awesome. Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at right now with this page and career-wise where I'm at. It's just he made me take a lot of shit with guitar very seriously. Probably to an extreme amount, if I'm being honest. Like everything's got to be perfect.
Yeah,
I'm pretty picky.
Good. It should be.
Yeah, it's like when I set up my stuff, it's got to be perfect.
Yeah. I love setting up my Floyds. They're time consuming, but I like it. It's pretty
I was a
it's
Floyd
pretty
guy
relaxing.
for years. I was a Floyd guy for years until I got the Jeff Hanneman one and that Kaler. I was like, oh shit, this is my thing right here. It just how it felt and everything. Yeah, I won't like Floyd has its own advantages. So does the Kaler, but like overall, I think I would take the Kaler more because that one just I feel more at home on that one. Plus, I think having a Strat body helps because I played mainly Strats for a good few years. I like single cuts and all, but like I like the Kaler and all that, and with the Strat body, so it's perfect.
Yeah, I can see why the Jeff Hanneman appeals to you so much then.
Yeah, and plus I was always a big fan of Jeff's riffs and that, but like, damn, as soon as I got that Gary Holt V, that was my first V, and I love the V shape too. Actually, I want to try to snag one. I want to try to snag one of Carrie's old ESPs in the future. That's a goal of mine. Those things are just sick.
You might be able to find an old Edwards, which was what LTD was before they were LTD. So, apparently they're rare, but they're not as rare as the ESP Carry Kings.
Yeah, and if you find like sometimes they're stupid expensive. Sometimes like out of the country and that too.
Exactly. Buddy might paid about $1,000, I think, for one from Japan.
Yeah, there was one that went up, I want to say a month or two ago, and it was like $3,000. I was like, shit, if I had the cash, I'd pull the trigger.
For the ESP or the Edwards?
It was the ESP. It was the ESP.
Oh, that ain't bad. That's not a bad price.
I was like, shit, if I had that cash, I'd pull the trigger immediately, because that thing, for some reason to me, it just screams 80s thrash.
It does. It's that crackle finish.
Yeah, it's mainly the crackle and the reverse hockey stick headstock that does it.
Yeah,
like Jeff is responsible for most of the important Slayer songs, and the songs I like my favorite album. I don't care what anybody says. It's Divine Intervention. I love that album.
It's a good album. I'm still if it's not Rain and Blood for me though. I still really enjoy Seasons.
That is a great album.
I really like that album.
It's good.
It was fast. It was aggressive. There's really good songwriting on it too.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah,
it's always between.
I think we agree. I think we definitely agree on the Slayer thing. It's definitely Rain and Blood. Then probably Seasons. Then probably like South of Heaven.
Yeah,
South of Heaven. That was the first Slayer song I heard.
Which one?
South of Heaven was the very first Slayer song I heard when I was 8 years old. I was young. Yep. I can remember.
Yep, that was me and freshman in high school, I think, when that album came out, and we were like just totally stoked when it came out.
I was.
Remember the first Seasons was the first Slayer song.
What year was
that? That was like '88.
No, I'm talking about when I heard it. I think it was. Right when Gary joined. Although I never got into it then. It happened much later on. I was a young kid back then. And, it was like 2011, if I'm correct.
Yeah. About 2012, 2013 is when Gary, I think, was officially perfect.
Yeah, I think it was 2012. I think it was something like that.
2013 is when he was made an official member after Jeff passed, but he joined in 2011. Yeah, and ironically, that's when I first heard Slayer. So that's wild. Then many years later, here I am. Yeah, it's those two, Slayer and Exodus, are like always fighting for that top spot. There's another band. I'm not going to give away their name. They're fairly new. I'll send it to you guys after, but it's the band I might end up working for.
Hell yeah!
So, I'm excited. I'm excited for that.
Good. Anything you ever send us, by the way?
What's that?
Anything you ever send us, by the way, if it's confidential, let us know. It'll never leave our lips or our
actually,
chats.
a friend of mine, he almost leaked it out. Like, whoa, wait a minute.
Whoa.
Just wait.
Are they East Coast band?
Not yet. We're close, but not there yet. But they're like bringing back that old school groove metal Pantera had, and you don't hear that out of a lot of modern bands today. You don't hear that old school sound.
Are they an East Coast band?
Yeah, South Carolina specifically.
Oh, so,
actually, I told Gary about them. I couldn't resist.
I don't blame him. I would tell Gary everything every day if I could. Hey, Gary, I had some curious for breakfast. What'd you have?
he's like, that's straight, man.
I'm like, okay. Because I told him about it on the Headbangers call. I was like, look, I'll message you about it later, but I've got like really big shit in the works, and I'm shocked myself. And I sent him like, you got to check these guys out though. They got that old school sound. That's
what I'm talking about.
And they're a 3-piece too, and that's really unique in metal.
Ooh, a trio. Goddamn.
Yeah.
There's some friends of mine from New Jersey, and they're newer thrash. And they're killer, man. They kind of have that old school, like they hit it perfect for me.
Yeah.
So,
like a lot of new bands, not to be like an asshole about it, but a lot of them like sound the same. When you hear something that like catches your ear, like something like that sounds old school, like, oh shit, now you got my attention.
It's just killer, and they're killer songs.
Yeah, and like,
yeah,
they had an album drop back in February, and it was. I was anticipating it. I was like, okay, let's see what this shit's about. And it like, I couldn't stop listening to it. I was like, man, this shit's like, it's like pretty close to the new X's album. Like, in terms of like heaviness, it's fucking good.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah, you definitely piqued our interest.
Yeah, I'll send you. Man, there's so many tracks to pick from. I'll send you a couple of my favorites.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to announcing that because, like, when that happens, I won't be active on the pages as much, which will be kind of sad because I like doing this stuff, but this is my calling.
Yeah, just pop in every once in a while. People understand. Just come
in
once, twice a week. Pop in, you'll be fine.
Yeah, maybe drop a couple photos every once in a while.
Yeah.
Anybody just joining us in the chat? Anybody have any questions? Once again, I'm Rob from Arachnid Cabinets.
I am Lenny from Arachnid Cabinets.
Let's get some questions in here, guys. You guys are slacking.
Yeah, that's the way.
And no, Lenny is not single. Neither am I.
I don't think anybody cared.
No one cared. No one asked us whatsoever. It's not off that.
Wow.
People are all like, just thought I'd offer that information out there, just in case it was
just throwing it out,
just in case it was crossing anybody's minds.
Yeah. Shit. I was glad you guys accepted to do this.
No, dude, we're people, man. We're musicians. We're carpenters. We love music. We love this kind of music in particular. We're been doing it for forever. Lenny's been playing it for. Lenny's been playing it for forever. I've been playing it for forever. So it's always cool to just chat. And like I said, you're doing us as much a favor as you feel like we're doing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been wanting to get back into streaming. Like, there were so many issues within the past few months, like scheduling issues and stuff. It's like I don't have time for it. Now I got a little bit of time to kill, so I'm just gonna start streaming again.
Ryan's gonna hate this question. So what pedals? So I'm a Helix user. My pedals are built in. I have a Mission Engineering passive volume. That's the only pedal I use. So, but in terms of pedals that are coming out, there's a couple companies. I love, people give them shit, but I love Lone Wolf Audio. Joseph Anastasio. Like, I really like Joseph. I think I like it because, first off, his pedals are dope. But he talks so much shit about everyone. It's so funny. He's like, I don't give a fuck. He just went on this rant about how don't send me unsolicited messages about me sending you free pedals because it's not gonna happen, and don't, especially these pedals, because you gotta respect the dude's bluntness. So
are there any bass player prospects? Yes, but I don't know if that's going to be revealed quite yet.
You know what? So in terms of the one artist coming, we got Dan from Una Got Trauma. That ain't a big secret, though.
Well, no. The one that's coming to my mind right now is probably one that's not going to be.
But the one I shared with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet, but he has.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, he's hit us up. He plays guitar in another band, but he plays bass in another extremely huge band. And I'm not saying the other band he plays guitar for isn't just as huge, but the one he plays bass for is legendary as well. But obviously, we haven't really talked further other than he's reached out, wants to work with us, or wants to do something. I'll probably check to see when they're touring, so I know when not to bother them. I don't like doing that. When I know people have touring and shit coming up, I kind of don't want to discuss business outside, other than like, hey, good luck for tour. Let's, talk when you're available. But, most of those dudes already have a ton of shit on their mind when they go to tour.
Yep, when you get done or when you get some days off or something like that.
Yeah, when you want to discuss something. So, yes, there is a bassist in the works, so.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, going back to the pedal question, there's one I can't live without. It's my Dimebag Wah. I love this thing.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta have it plugged in like at all times. Especially for
the key to his dive tones was not only the wah, but I think there's rumor that he used the pitch shifter as well to get those really high. Eventually he dialed in his tone to where the wah could do it alone. But apparently there's a pitch shifter somewhere behind the scenes that his tech used, the Digitech whammy pitch shifter. That is one of those things he uses as well. And apparently that was a well-kept secret.
Well, he had a unique tone. Nobody had that tone. I've heard things like he altered his
you're
bridge.
already a quality one again.
Let me mute real quick and come back. Are we back? Better?
No, it's still the same.
Give it a few seconds, man. It's probably just internet connection. It'll get better. Better?
No, it's still the same. I can still understand you. It's just the quality's really scooped.
Yeah, it's like we're probably in a fishbowl or some shit like that. Do we need to just talk quieter? If we talk quieter, is it better?
No, still sounds the same.
Well, maybe it'll probably fix itself here shortly.
Yeah, you guys can go on if you want.
No, that was it. It was just, okay. We're talking about diamond,
Yeah, the whammy squeals.
Bill Lawrence, that pickup was huge. His tone, he used to alter all of his guitars and alter his bridges.
Yeah, he was a real big modder in that way. He loved to tear apart guitars and rebuild them. And that's what made Dime. And that and he used the shit out of vibrato, and that rubbed off on me because I'm a massive Pantera fan, and I noticed that in my playing. I use a lot of vibrato.
I'm kind of thinking he probably got some of that from Eddie Van Halen because Eddie Van Halen used to do that
him too, because I grew up listening to Van Halen and stuff like that. But Don called it Southern style, and some of that rubbed off on me.
That's rad though. That's not good. It's really ironic. Cause I was like, man, he's just like Van Halen. Because Eddie that's why he had a super strap. The Floyd Rose is because of Eddie. Eddie was the first person to say, fuck these single coil pickups. I'm gonna put a humbucker in here, and then I'm gonna put the Floyd in here, and
remember for a long time you could only get Floyd's through like Kramer. Like if they weren't on Kramer guitars, you can only get them through Kramer dealers. Yeah, they're still around, man. Yeah, Kramers are still around. Yeah, I just think it's funny that Floyd's were only originally through Kramer for a minute. That was great. Yes.
Yeah.
The yellow black cricket sign. Yeah.
Yes. No, I did know.
We did know that. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, audio's good now, by the way.
Sweet. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a weird fact not to know. I think
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
are a true metalhead, that's a weird fact not to know.
Yeah,
Yep.
you would know that.
Yeah.
The cool fact is, it's like weird though. I heard a lot of the bands like I love now. Like when I was like really young, like you guys are too old for this. But Pantera had a song in an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah. The concrete sledge.
No.
It was Death Rattle was an instrumental version of that.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember the name of the
Primal
song.
Concrete Sledge.
No, it was Death Rattle off Reinventing the
Death
Steel.
Rattle. Shit.
Something like I think.
And they called it. I think they called it Pre-Hibernation Week on the soundtrack, and
Right.
it's so weird because it's like I fucking love Pantera. And,
Well, because Sandy was about to hibernate, so she was trying to get all kinds of shit, like activities done. So we had a bunch of fun. So it was hella fucking spastic and manic, and she wanted to do all kinds of extreme shit, like on her day, like before she had to hibernate. And that's the song they kept playing in the background.
I kind of think Pantera was another one of those bands back in the day that sort of kind of blew me out of the water when I first heard it and was like, holy, it was just that guitar tone, man. I couldn't even get over it, you know?
Yeah.
The death roll.
I love Pantera. And it's like Slayer. I have the weirdest, like, the way I found Slayer is like the craziest story. It'll take me forever to explain it. But let's just say someone stole their shit, and I heard about it, so I decided to check out the original song. Oh shit, this is good. Then completely forgot about it for like 10 years, and then here we are. Almost like 10 years, maybe like 8 years. Then I got into metal, and then I got back in, like, I went back, listened to Slayer, like, this is my fucking band. Then Exodus, like, this is my other fucking band. I'll represent these two till I die.
So I gotta see if Gary knows, because Gary watches TV. He'll post like videos of him watching TV, which is funny.
He needs to start a YouTube or Twitch channel doing that shit.
He could. Cobra Kai. There was the one thing he posted where he's watching an episode of Cobra Kai, and the guy was like, "I couldn't sleep last night because you're blasting all that stupid Metallica." He's like, "No, it was actually Exodus."
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
So I saw
that
that.
was
Oh, that's
so rad,
fucking cool.
Like, oh my God, Exodus got just
Jerry.
unplugged.
Well, it's funny too. There's a show on HBO called The Righteous Gemstones, and it's about a megachurch family who are not very fucking Christian. They're all schemers and shit.
Wow.
And one of the pastor's little boys, he's like calling his dad like, "Go away." He kisses him goodnight. He's like, "Why'd you do that? FAGGOT?" You know, like. And believe it or not, when Danny McBride stands up in the doorway, like, the kid has an Exodus poster
Nice.
on his wall. Like, I think it's a blood in, blood out poster.
Damn.
But I don't know if Gary knows that. I'm like, I should be like, Gary, you gotta watch this show because I think he likes catching little Easter eggs and all Exodus.
Yeah, totally.
But I would too, though. Like, who wouldn't?
No, totally. That'd be freaking rad, man.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I remember seeing the Cobra Kai thing. I was like, oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah. No.
I gotta watch the new season.
I saw that, and I was like, Exodus. Oh.
You're blasting all that shitty Metallica. No, actually, it was Exodus is bonded by blood.
Exodus. Get it right.
You know, I think it's funny as metalheads. Anytime there is a nod to like a real metal band, you know. That seems like a misnomer because what constitutes a real metal band, but we all know what we mean when we say that. Whenever there's anything where they play like a legit fucking metal band's shit, we're all like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like I heard when Cannibal Corpse
Oh, dude.
in Like everyone was like, "Oh my God, Cannibal Corpse in the club scene!" Like everyone, like death metal guys went to Ace Ventura just to watch that.
That
scene.
was me.
Yeah.
That was me. That was me back in 1994. I'm like, Cannibal Corpse is going to be in Ace Ventura. I'm going to go see the movie. And I did, and I was that little split 10 seconds of time was the best thing ever in my life.
Ironically, I am wearing.
I was just thinking of that too.
I'm wearing my Hammer Smashed face T-shirt. Actually,
Oh yeah. First time I saw Slayer, I saw Cannibal Corpse with him, and they fucking crushed.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him a few times.
dude,
Yeah.
I wear this shit to work. Like I work for the state, and I'm a stationary engineer, and I work at like state government buildings. I just walk in there with my Cannibal Corpse T-shirts on. I don't wear my aborted T-shirt though. I have the nailed through her cut T-shirt.
No, yeah, you can't wear that.
That I won't wear.
No.
That's a little too much, but like I wear my Hammer Smash face T-shirt all day through work.
Right. They're
Oh,
like, nice shirts, man.
All these normies.
yeah, that's like the whole Kill the Kardashian shirt.
Right.
Funny
I own
story
that
with
shirt.
that. They had that stupid thing on there with TV. My grandma, for some reason, watched that. Like, man, where's my Kill the Kardashian shirt when I need it?
Yeah.
Actually,
Dude, I wear that everywhere. Normies love it.
I think everybody wants to.
the last Slayer show. Oh no, go ahead.
I think everyone's sick of the fucking Kardashians. You don't have to be
Yeah.
in the Slayer or Gary to be
Yeah,
sick of them.
they're annoying. But that's like the last time I went and saw Slayer. It was November 12th, 2019. It was that last leg. I went to a Wendy's before the show, and I had the Kill the Kardashian shirt on. And the lady inside the Wendy's like, "You can't have that on. They're nice people." I said, "The hell they are."
No, they're not.
Hell, they are.
They're not nice people. What are you talking about?
I said, "The hell they are."
Right? That's right.
So
and
I-
the other employees were laughing their asses off. They thought it was the best shirt ever.
Dude,
Oh,
it
that's
is.
great.
Dude, I remember I caught them on the last leg of the tour too. So they played at Cal Expo here in Sacramento, which is our fairgrounds, and I was the HVAC tech for the facility. So I went to the people in Ovations because I'm cool with them. You know, I install their equipment, take care of it, and generally they're cool about giving you passes to shows like Country in the Park or other shows that come through. Never once asked these people for a single thing in my life up until the Lamb of God, Slayer, Behemoth, Testament leg of the tour. And I went up to Paul. I was like, "Paul, you know I've never asked you for anything. You've told me in the past if I need tickets to something. You're my guy. Can me and my drummer Mitch from Wormflesh," I was like, "Can I get 2 passes?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, I get you 2 passes." The day of Slayer, I'm really nervous. Like, "Hey, the passes? Do I have?" He's like, "Oh, I find him. I was like, "Do we have our passes, dude? Because I don't have these things." He's like, "Oh, well, you're inside the show. Just get your wristband." And he's like, "Go get your wristbands." So I go show them our IDs. They give us our wristbands. I don't even need the physical badges in hand. He gives me like 15 beer tickets. And boom. We saw Anthrax sound checking. We saw Testament sound checking. Behemoth, I think, already sound checked, and Slayer probably sound checked long before that.
Yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah. And dude, those fucking troughs of fire that they had, and they opened up that big backdrop that color reacts. Like, you know, when they had the red light, you can only see certain images.
Yeah.
And then when they add like blue, you can only see other images. Like, they're all like weirdly
I was thinking of
color decoding lights.
killing celebrities, speaking of, with the kill. I remember, I think James Hetfield was the one that had the sticker on his Explorer that said something like "Kill Bon Jovi" or something like that. Years ago. Oh, man, as a kid, I loved that. I'm like, that is so rad. I'm like, "Kill Bon Jovi."
Is that though? It's just his life. It's now or never.
I think that was a sticker he had. It.
Kill Bon.
Yeah, it was like "Kill Bon Jovi."
I need that. I need that now.
Man, poor Bon Jovi. He seems nice.
Yeah, right.
Kardashians are pure evil, but Bon Jovi seems
Well,
like
maybe
he's
him.
a New Jersey boy.
I don't know about that Richie Sambora guy. He seems like he's not very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny as hell. Bill Bon Jovi.
We used to laugh at it.
Oh, that's good. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you guys are doing great things, and that's awesome. That really is.
We appreciate that.
It's good to see that we're finally getting stuff from metalheads. Because I mean, like, I don't know, you might have a different opinion on me, but like, PC Rich, I don't really like some of the stuff. Oh, I do like the Iron Bird with the Kaler, the all black one. Do like that one, but like the super bright colors, it's like, yeah, that ain't gonna work for me.
I'm all about so they have the new, they have that Shredzilla and that matte black. I actually love all the abalone purfling and
I don't mind. I don't mind
I
the
love that
abalone
shit.
as much. It's just like the stupid, like really like neon green. I'm like, yeah, I would not play that on stage with a band.
I wouldn't play neon green, but like, so I want to upgrade my muscle car eventually. Like I have a V6, but we have a 64 Mustang, 64 and a half, and we have a 06, and the 06 is only a V6 because we got it from my wife's grandpa. But like I told her, I was like, "You're gonna let me get my like GT 500 one day, right?" I was like, because I became a stationary engineer, you know, went to school, you know, got this fancy state job. You're gonna let me get it? She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, I want that grabber green color." That's what they call it. They call it that neon green that you see sports cars in.
Yeah.
Let's call it grabber green.
Huh.
Yeah, I love that color. I like that color. She says, "That's fucking ugly." I'm all like, dang. Sorry, that's fucking ugly. You can't get that color. It's got to be black. It's just like, it's got to be like black with gray stripes or like really dark metallic charcoal with black stripes.
I don't know, man. Colors are good sometimes, especially with vehicles. But yeah, so I mean, but I'm glad you kind of reached out to us, man. I'm glad just someone else out there, you know. I know you said you're super appreciative that we came on and how this, you know, helps add legitimacy to what you feel you're trying to do, which we all need. We all need validation in what we're doing. Those who say they don't, I think, are kind of lying. If they don't need some sort of validation, you know, from something. Yeah, the community helps each other out. Yeah, everybody's got things they want to do and goals they want to achieve, and everybody works together, and it kind of, you know, it makes it work, man. It creates an ecosystem, so to say, within itself of me promoting what you do, you promote what I do, and we help each other, and it's just as, you know, you would think. You know, we're appreciative if anybody gives us a little bit of time. It's, you know, we can talk. I can talk for sure. There's no mystery to that. But, you know, it's needed at every little level. You know, and it's nice to see people who care about what we do. It validates the product. And all we can do is just continue to churn out badass shit.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys reached out to me. That I was kind of shocked. I thought you guys mistook me for Gary for a second.
No, I knew you were Gary. I was talking Gary for a minute. Yeah, I know Gary, but no, I just, like I said, I saw you promoted his gear, and so it was like, well, I'm not just gonna like post. I'm not just gonna like, hey, here's what. I was like, I'm gonna ask your permission, like, hey, you know, do you want to share some of Gary's stuff? You know, I don't want to assume you want to. Probably no, you think what we do sucks. And like last day on Earth, you wanted to do was feature any of the shit we built. So like, who am I to assume anybody gives a shit about what we're doing? So.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the message, like, oh man, they think I'm Gary. But you know, I said, oh, yeah, we know you're not Gary. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll promote your shit. Hell yeah, I don't have a problem doing that. I'll do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny. We're talking about Riggs of Death Metal, right? Ryan, you're kind of in the same boat as Ryan was and the way I was when I first started, you know? It doesn't seem like this thing can become much, but you'd be surprised if you keep fucking chipping away at it.
If you keep pushing at it, yeah.
Yeah, you keep busting ass, chipping away at it, you'd be surprised who wants to come and talk on your game. You'd be surprised what the next Rick Gear page is, and you're somehow monetizing this, because I know you can monetize Instagram in specific ways. And next thing you know, you're selling merchandise that, you're like, hey, Gary, let me print some dope things with your photo black and white. I'll give you a percentage. And next thing you know, you have people getting shirts that are, Gary with his guitar. You have a picture of just his guitar, You never know what clever ways you can continue to do this and grow and monetize it to where it's kind of helping you out in multiple ways than just being fun.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, like I said, this has been one hell of a journey, like 2 years, almost 2 years now. Like next month it will be 2 years. I started this before I graduated. I knew this is what I wanted to do. I was like, I'm just gonna do this. I asked a couple people like what they thought, and like the answers I got were kind of surprising. Like, yeah, you should do it. I'm like, really? I was like, really? You think? They're like, yeah, I think you're built for that shit. So, like, I asked my guitar teacher, this like one of the last lessons, like, I'm thinking about becoming a tech. He said, well, seeing your setup work, it's fucking great. Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know who you'll end up teching for, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, Gary brought his tech from France. So if that just goes to testament, if you're really good at what you do, people will bring you in from wherever the fuck you are to be their tech. And, you might have to sort of, so you might have to do something like what I did. I backlined a lot of festivals for free, which helped to get the product out there and heard. These things aren't in Guitar Center. These things aren't at Sam Ash. So what's the best way to get people to hear these things? Their guitars, with their amplifiers and pedalboards and cables, with their gauge strings and tunings, through the cab. And see how that compares to whatever Marshall, Mesa, or Orange they have at home. And the fests have got me customers. The fests have made me friends and have put me on first name basis with people that I would have never thought I'd be on a first name basis for. I have people's phone numbers that I could text you right now that I would never have been able to be like, hey, how's your day going? Like, 15-year-old me would have never thought I would be, hey, Gary, safe travels. You're going to fucking kill people in slow. And word, bros, 15-year-old people had never fucking thought that I could wish Gary, safe travels. Personally.
Yeah. That's like if you told me back in high school, right before my first Slayer show, that I would know Gary, I would tell you you're fucking crazy. So I would probably say there's no way in hell, but like for it to be like a reality, it's like, wow, holy shit. Like I said, I'll send you the band I'm hopefully gonna be teching for. It seems like kind of like a sealed deal at this point, but I'm very excited because they only played a handful of shows, but they got some hell of a following already.
Yeah. And this might be it. This is where I was kind of going. Like with me backline festivals, there's only a couple guys who I was like, hey man, I need a little gas or something because it's kind of an awkward weekend. You need me to take off more time than I normally would. But I did a lot of this shit for free, dude. It was free advertising. Sometimes I got my band on the festival, and if these guys, that you're gonna tech for, if they're willing to at least feed you and make sure you have a safe place to crash every night, this is probably the foot in the door you need. Once they find out how dope you are as a tech, and you learn things quicker, faster, just as precise or more precise. Should always be the three main goals for improving. Me and Lenny talk about that all the time.
Well, and I think word of mouth is huge too, honestly.
Yeah,
people will talk, and they'll
and it's a smaller community than you think, dude. You think these people are all unreachable and they're super far away, but then you go to a fest and you're like, fuck, that's Damien Lesky and Gorgasm. Fuck, here's Mike Flores and Origin and, Paul and John Lumtrick. You think those guys are so far away until you're at the fest. you know, and now I'm on a first name basis with Travis Ryan from Count the Cap, and you know, and that was before even the Unidad Trauma guys, because Travis Ryan and Jim, who's ex Metal Blade Records, manages my artist Unidad Trauma. Our artist. I got used to saying R for everything now. So it's you know, Mike Flores like loves my shit, and I can write Mike Flores any day of the week. So word of mouth is really important. If people find out you suck to work with, the community is a lot smaller than you think, and word will spread quick. So just be dope, be flexible.
You got to be humble too, man. And I've learned that. I got a lot of years in this, and I've been doing this stuff for over 30 years.
He's old.
Man, I've done a lot. I mean, I've been on labels. I've worked with hundreds of musicians. I've done a lot of it, you know. But you just got to stay humble, man. You got to be cool with people. You got to, like Rob said, you got to be willing to work with people, you know, and just generally be like a cool person, you know, because I have worked with a lot of guys that are not easy to work with and or work with, you know, and it's not fun, man. You don't want to associate with them or you know.
And we're not going to name drop, obviously, but there's, ironically, you'd be surprised how many of the mutual names Vinny and Lenny are both familiar with. They were like, yeah, my experience is this person's hard to work with. Lenny's like, you know what? I've heard that too. And I would think Lenny's never heard of that person, but because these people work in the same circles, it gets around really quick. Like, dope musician, kind of tough personality, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you want to be flexible. You want to be agreeable to accept. But you know what? You never need to shortchange your value as well. Don't ever say, "Well, I'm not worthy of this kind of value." Just be aware of where you're at, and you know. Sometimes you have to take hits with things for experience. Like when I first started, I think I offered all my cabs at like $700. And then when I got to dovetailing, I was like, okay, now these cabs are really worth there. And then I kind of lowered prices once more just to be competitive with Mesa because I really don't need, it's not my bread and butter at this point. It's not our bread and butter at this point. But yeah, be dope, be workable, you know, make it to where you can work with people. But don't let people walk over you.
Yeah. I'm pretty laid back, but like, just there's that line, like, just don't cross that line. We're cool, you know, no problem.
Absolutely.
And I've had experience
honest,
with a lot of shitty people, and it's like, you know, like, no, you just know how it is.
I'm not gonna lie though. You know what I have thought? Speaking of being professional with people who are kind of assholes, like you don't want to be that guy. It seems like sometimes if you chose the right beef, it could weirdly be beneficial.
The right beef?
The right beef. Like if you just told the right person off that everybody thinks is an asshole, you know, like it'd be all over like metal, whatever. No, this unknown person was told this person that they're an asshole, and the whole community already knows they're an asshole. So
fucking blows up.
We commend you for not letting them talk.
Right. We commend you for having the balls to finally say it.
Yeah, like this little guy, you know, was on tour. The tech for this band told who's like a notoriously asshole-ish person that everyone hates.
Celebrity-wise? Musician-wise?
Yeah, musician-wise.
Man.
No one likes Chris Barnes right now.
He's kind of an asshole.
So no one likes Chris Barnes right now. Can you imagine, like, you're weirdly, like, crossed Chris Barnes' path teching, and he, like, said something that crossed you, and everyone said, whoa, that ain't fucking cool, Chris Barnes. And next thing you know, you're like, Chris Barnes, that ain't fucking cool. Shove this in your hash pipe, and the Mel injection's right about you.
Right.
Next thing you know, like I said, the right beef could give you, like, the clout you need.
It could. It could.
You just don't want to gamble on what that beef could be.
No, probably not.
But that's I was gonna say. I have a luthier near me. It's done a lot of work for me over the years before I started doing it myself. But he even offered an apprenticeship for me, and I took it up like that. So
Yeah.
I've been doing that, and I only needed 6 sessions, and I thought I would have needed more, but I was like, okay, I guess I know my shit.
I mean, so Lenny's oldest son plays in a rock band called Red Voodoo. I mean, their tech was just like a friend initially, right? Now they're huge, and he's kind of he's in with them pretty solid because.
Well, so what happened was he actually works a somewhat normal job as well, other than his band, but his sort of supervisor, I guess, in his job turned out to be their roadie. So his roadie is he's kind of the roadie's boss when they're doing their shows, and then when he goes to work with him at his normal job, his roadie is his boss. It kind of flip-flops. But anyway, he kind of knows what he's doing a little bit. He's, he kind of acts as their security and lots of things. Actually, I don't know what they do without him right now. He's perfect. And they've just recently picked up another roadie, so they have 2 of them now, that are working for them. So, things happen, man.
Yeah.
Things happen that you're totally not expecting sometimes,
Like I said, Lenny's son is 19, 20, and he's like playing for Guy Fieri at private birthday parties.
Yeah.
Some weird fucking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he even told me, he's like, I don't do apprenticeships anymore, but you got some potential, and I'd like to see it. Like, all right, I'll gladly do it, because I could use it.
Yeah.
It never hurts to have more information to know,
Fuck yeah, dude. It's true. And the most you can do is just get on with somebody who's going to treat you right, potentially compensate you somewhat fairly. You need to eat when you're out there, dude, and you got to buy socks and underwear. That's what I always say. And you got to replace shoes when you get holes in them. So get in with the right people who are going to treat you right. Grow with them.
These guys, they're really chill, and like one of them is already kind of well known, but he seems down to earth as well too. So
good, dude. That's all it takes. People you can work with, and everyone's got to obviously have a goal to move forward. And I think that's probably why it's easy for, like, I don't know, at this phase in my life, I was like, I bet if I asked Lenny to come on board, he's not going to feel like I'm wasting his time. Because that was a fear of mine, too. I asked him a couple of years ago when he offered. I was like, I feel like I'm going to waste his time, dude. Like, I don't have that. I have builds, but is it enough to justify him asking him to, like, leave his wife at night and, come help me? Like, what's going to happen when he's like, if he thinks this isn't going fast enough, which I told him, I love my old partner nowadays. He's a great guy, but back in the day, it was like, this isn't fast enough. Come get your stuff. And I was like, ugh. So I was really hesitant for a long time to bring anybody on board. Most people don't realize this shit's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Yeah, we're still. Love you. That was my wife. She's just like, she's like,
you're not done yet? What the hell?
Sometimes the kid, you know what that means? The kids are probably annoying the shit out of her.
Yeah. Shit. But
dude, we appreciate you bringing us on, man.
Oh, I had a blast. I'd love to do it again.
Yeah, dude. Maybe we could schedule something after Gary's tour, and he has a crazy, good analysis of, the cab's roadworthiness, and maybe we discuss the tour, and maybe I'll have some more insight. Like, Gary said this about the cabs. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll have to do that in the future.
Yeah, and I'll keep flowing you media to share for Gary if you would like.
Hell yeah, I would love to.
Yep. Cool. Anything that crosses our path?
Yeah, no, I'll do the same. If I find anything, I'll float it your way.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, and thanks for sharing the endless promotion for this.
No, absolutely.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, because I haven't really streamed sort of professionally like this in a long time.
Totally fine, dude. Hey, I'm not the best. I could go off on tangents all day, dude. So if you don't reel me in, I can go down all kinds of loopholes.
Same.
I relate so many things to each other because, to be honest, I kind of have blinders on in my life. Everything's pretty much music related or woodworking related. So
Yeah, I mean, it's all tunnel vision.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Me and Lenny could probably talk to you about the bands we love all day, and then that could really weirdly strike a tangent on places we've seen them, which could go down the loophole of cities we hate. Like, God, we went to that city. Yeah, I saw it, but man, that city fucking sucks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got plenty of stories.
Lenny's, I'd say Lenny probably went. I mean, my band's signed too. We have an album out, but like, I think Lenny has done more of the road warrior shit than I've gotten a chance to. Like, but I love my band, but not everyone in it is kind of like just willy-nilly willing to just let's go on tour for a month. Fuck yeah! Like,
Well, do, especially if you got a lot going on in your life. It is, Yeah, I did it a lot young.
my wife just joined. She's probably watching when we get off. We're talking all kinds of shit about you, babe.
She's keeping an eye on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit, actually, send me your band. I'd love to check it out.
Oh yeah, man! If you love Dying Fetus, Suffocation, like Misery Index, you should love our music because
I dabble in death metal. Like, I dabble in it a little bit. I've always been like that hardcore thrash kid.
No, dude.
Me too.
I fucking love Slayer, dude, and I think the way I write is largely influenced by Slayer because
Same. I write some riffs on the sound like, oh shit, I sound like Slayer again.
Yeah. I used to play in a band for a minute. They were called Slip into Coma, and I swear they sound that band. They were local here, just like Slayer, and the singer Scott sound just like Tom Araya, man. Great guitar player too. I gotta see if I can find some of that music. I think you'd probably like it.
Probably. I mean, it sounds remotely like Slayer on me too.
Yeah, man. We'll have to see if I can round it up, and I'll try and float it your way.
Sadly, it's council culture hasn't found it and scrubbed the internet of it.
No, I think I might be able to find it.
You might be able to find that song?
Which one?
Rainbow Body Bags?
Oh, jeez.
No. I was talking about Coma stuff.
Yeah, that is something to Coma, isn't it? Yeah, that's something to Coma.
Well, not the stuff I'm talking about.
You're talking about the older stuff?
No, that's a little bit newer.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
was post-Tyler drumming days.
Gotcha. So, but dude, Braxton, thanks for having us, dude.
No problem. I'm glad to have you guys on here again.
Yeah, man. Much appreciated.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, take it easy, dude, and I'll keep passing
Yeah, you
shit
too.
as I get it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
All right,
All
brother.
right.
Later, dude.
Later.
Yeah, later.
Ooh.
All right, guys. That was the first episode of Rigcast. It was fun. I had a good time doing that. So this will be saved to my my page, and it will stay there as well. So hold on 1 second. All right. So I'll keep you guys updated on the second guest, which I'm hopefully aiming for next Friday coming up. I'm pretty excited. Some of you guys probably do know him. He's he's one hell of an aggressive picker. Well, you guys have a good one.